How you doing? My name is Anthony Essen, and for the purpose of this video, we are going to demonstrate the ACSM push-up test. And the ACSM push-up test is designed to assess an individual's muscular endurance, and not so much muscular strength, though it does require some upper body strength. But what we're looking at is the testing of muscular endurance. So and you could do standard or modified. A lot of times they say the modified test, they say it's for females, but females can do the standard test, and then males can also be assessed using the modified test. So for the purpose of this video, we're going to do the standard test. So in the position you're going to start with, so the standard down position, so my hands are going to be about shoulder width apart and like underneath my shoulders. I will be using my feet as the pivot point. So when I go to begin, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fully extend my elbows, and so then now I'm in this position. So in order for the push-up to count, so I will flex my elbows. I have to get at least at 90 degrees, and then I have to take my chin to the ground. My back is straight, and it stays straight throughout the entire movement. So it looks something like this. So some of the common faults that we see is where the butt is too high, or you could have the pelvis too low. So this is one of the common mistakes, and this will not count as a rep like that. Or if my pelvis was too low, which a lot of times you see once fatigue is setting in. So this will not count as a rep. Another mistake that we see is that an individual does not go down far enough. So, like I said, we're looking for a 90-degree bend with the elbows. The body stays straight. Essentially, you're having your spine in a neutral position, and the chin has to go all the way down to the floor for a rep to count. Thank you. All right, so we're back. I've already demonstrated the ACSM push-up test, the proper protocols. And so now here we have Kobe. And so then I'm going to go ahead and proctor the exam for Kobe and see what classification that he grades out to. So Kobe going to go ahead and start in the standard down position. Okay, his hands are underneath his shoulders, fingers are facing forward. He is using his toes as the pivot point. So then go ahead, extend your elbows, starting position, and then begin when you're ready. So that's 1, chin to the ground, beautiful. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 15, 20, 'So with the struggle, that would be 1 warning at 23. So then 24 is where we would stop. Thank you. All right, how you doing? Anthony Essen back here again. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over the ACSM curl up test, like the protocols for it, what we're looking for, positively and also negatively. So that when you're proctoring the exam with a client, you know what exactly that you're looking for. So the starting position, we'll get here. So at the end of the mat, I have 2 pieces of tape on the end of the mat here. And so when I go to lay down, my feet need to be flat on the ground. Okay, number 1, my knees, the bend of my knees here needs to be at 90 degrees. And so my fingertips are going to be or my middle finger is going to be touching barely touching the first piece of tape. And so if you are under 45 years of age, the distance that your hands must go, it will be 12 centimeters. And if you're over 45 years of age, then you only have to go 8 centimeters. And then what we're looking for here is our back is flat. You know, my arms are fully extended with my palms down. So also my feet are flat on the ground. My fingertips are at the edge of the piece of tape. And so then from there, I'm going to, as I raise up my torso, I'm going to slide my fingers to the edge of the other piece of tape. And as an over 45-year-old, the distance that I would have to travel would be 8 centimeters. So then you would go up here and then back down. So some of the common faults that we look for is when individuals do this, you know, they could take their feet off the ground as they go up. You know, that would be a negative. Another thing that you'll possibly see is, you know, as they raise up, you know, one side goes forward to the end of the tape, but the other side doesn't. Something else you want to look for is keeping up with the pace. And so just like with the standard, just like with the push-ups, after your first mistake, you get a warning, and then when you get to the second mistake, the test ends. Thank you. Okay, so we're back. So now back here with Kobe, and so then Kobe's been advised on, you know, the protocols for the ACSM curl up task. So we have his feet are flat on the ground here. We have his knees are, you know, roughly at a 90-degree angle with the bend. His arms are fully extended with his palms down and his middle finger at the touching the beginning line of the tape. And one of the things that we have to mention when you're doing the curl up task is we talk about the different phases that your abdominal muscles are in. So when you're at the top, so that's going to be the concentric phase, and that's when you want to exhale. And then once you return back to the ground, your abdominal muscles are going to be in the eccentric phase, and so then that's where you want to inhale. Okay, and so then once again, first mistake, you get a warning. The second mistake is when the test ends, and we are testing muscular endurance. And so then what we have here is we're gonna use the metronome here, and then so it's gonna give Kobe the proper cadence which that he'll be doing his repetitions. Okay, here we go. Gotta get there. So that would be one warning. And then we would be done there because he failed to reach the 12 centimeter mark for a second repetition. And so then at that point we would stop. Thank you. Okay, so we're back. So we finished the curl up test. And so then now at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to check his heart rate for 30 seconds, and we're just going to multiply it by 2. So, okay, we got it here. So we have 42, okay? So by multiplying that by 2, that's gonna give us a number of 84. Thank you. All right, so we're back. Anthony and Kobe, the dream team. So we've done the curl up test. We've checked his heart rate. So then now what we need to do is we need to take, get a reading on his blood pressure. So first I'm going to find the brachial artery here so we can know where we're going to put the cuff. Okay, and so then we're good. And so then what we're going to do with this cuff is we're going to put it just 1 inch like superior to where we found the pulse. Okay, so we're getting the sleeve on here. Now make sure it's not too tight, but it's also not too loose. Okay, I think we're cooking with gas here. And so then at that point, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the smagometer. I'm going to go ahead and hook that thing on there. That name of it just makes me laugh. So next step, I'm going to stethoscope, and so then I'm going to put the stethoscope right where I initially found his pulse on his brachial artery. So then the fun begins. So for Kobe being a healthy individual, you know, we're going to get this thing up between 160 and 180. So what we had there was a 124/72. Thank you.